This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I am here with a new breed of speed. Since 1999, they've been providing speed and agility training for sports or for your health and fitness goals from Thornton here and the surrounding areas. I'm joined by Ron Jones, who is a business owner, fitness trainer, coach. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You're really an all-American football player, track star in high school. You were formally educated with a bachelor's degree at the Northeastern University of Boston.
Yes.
You have a background in the U.S. military as well as World League football.
Yes.
You now have over really a quarter of a century in training all types of athletes.
Yes.
Share with me a little bit how this story began for you.
Well, it all started for me from high school, and then I think when I got cut in high school, my basketball team, and I think that was a shocker to me when I got cut. I mean, because I was a real deal. I thought I was a real deal, but with me, it was the mental thing.
Okay.
And that's how I got cut. And I was better than all my athletes, but I know that. But it was the reason because I just was hard-headed. You know, I was doing things my way. I was doing things fast and all that. So when I got cut, it was like, okay, a humbling experience. Started playing football, became an All-American in high school. To this day, I still have the high school interception record. I had a total of 25.
Wow.
But 10 of them were called back. You know, this is all in one season, you know, so. And a lot of people don't believe that. I'm like, man, this is nothing, bro.
That's cool.
You weren't nothing, man. And they counted 15, so I ended up with 15. So and from there, I went to the military. I felt like I just needed to go to the military because I was mad because I was going to go to Notre Dame, or I was planning on going to Notre Dame, and then I got injured, and it was just this crazy thing. So I'm like, all right, fast forward military. After the military, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know, being over there, you know, 18 years old, over in Czechoslovakia, you know, with an M16 in my hand, guarding the border while everyone's back home asleep. You know, I mean, it was real world, you know, happening to me.
Real life.
I mean, right in front of my eyes. And I'm like, man, all right. So after that, I'm like, all right, I gotta go to college. Mm-hmm. So after the military, I walked on at Northeastern as a walk-on. You know, I mean, I had the speed. But they were like, son, we don't really do walk-ons. And I'm like, why not? They were like, because we've given out scholarships to some of the best kids from the country we thought that deemed the scholarship. Right. And I was like, who's your fastest guy? Right. Oh, such and such over there, you know, Mike Williams. I'm like, Mike Williams. I'm like, nah, Mike Williams ain't faster than me. But he was, you know, was a senior, so I really didn't get a chance to run against him. I really wanted to. I would have dusted him, though. I would have dusted him. But anyway, I outran their fastest guy and got a scholarship. And had my degree after that. You know, fast forward from that, you know, I took interest of training. Yeah. You know, I was working with UPS and training people on the side. And I'm like, I really like this. I really dig this. So, and that's what I did. And that's why I'm where I'm at to this day. And as you said, with the education, going back to school, that's what got me to this level.
The uncoachable becomes the coach.
Yes, sir.
And basically is out there teaching folks. I mean,
yes,
be it athletes or in life in general. I mean, we all want to be champions or be the very best we can be. Mm-hmm. Are champions made one day at a time? And is that really the cornerstone of what you do here?
For champions to be made, it is a marathon. You know, champions, it doesn't take like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like a lot of these parents. A lot of these parents will come to me and say, my son has this event coming up in a month. I'm like, okay, so the mesocycle, you know, and then you got the microcycle, and then you got the macrocycle. A lot of people don't really understand what that means. They don't really understand that. So I'm like, yeah, so he's not going to really get there, you know, but I can help him.
Sure.
You know, but it takes work.
It's a long game.
It's a long game. It's a long game. And what we have today in society is that everything is just so soft.
Instant food,
instant gratification.
Everything.
And it's like this, and I want this, and it's like, that's not how it works. So that's why I am who I am. I'm not going to change. I told them, this is not my first rodeo being in front of a camera. You know,
Wow.
I'm not going to change.
That is interesting. I mean, you have trained over 1,400 athletes, even for those who
And
are...
counting.
Yes, and counting. Keeps adding, right?
Yes.
I mean, even for those who are not athletes, I mean, should life fitness really be a part of a person's goals no matter what? And so, can you help anyone, really?
Oh, yeah, I can help anybody. And as you saw tonight, I have all different levels of kids. And I'm not one of those coaches or trainers who look at athletes and try to pick an all-star training camp. I'm training kids who want to be there. Parents call me up, hey, coach, can you help my kid? Absolutely. Really? Absolutely. Really? Absolutely. You know, because I understand what it takes. It takes patience.
Yep.
It takes time. And it takes passion. And you have to love to do what I do. A lot of people claim they're doing what I'm doing, but they're not. I mean, what we do in gyms like this, in middle schools, I mean, I have a track club. I mean, I have a young lady, she's a sophomore, you know, ran an 8:18 in the 60 just by training in here.
Right here. Right on your feet.
Right on your feet.
On your feet.
It's about running, man. It's about running.
Sports performance training has allowed you to train some of the best athletes really out there in the world. Is daily evaluations, is that part of the process? And how is that done? Is it technology, or what does it take to evaluate the performance?
Some people, they would say yes. Me, because I've been doing it like it's almost half a century, I don't think it needs to be done every day for evaluation.
Okay.
I think there needs to be windows and setting pyramids and opportunities and setting goals. I mean, you set a goal every day to do this. It's like, all right, so what does that equal to? It makes no sense. So you set them 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, 28 weeks. That's how I set my goals. And then by doing so, I see more results.
Yeah,
that
you're
way.
You're in a long game, so you can't be doing it daily. No. You've got to spread it out, hit milestones along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you say that speed is a skill that needs to be developed with running and not in the weight room. Explain a little bit this new breed of speed. I see some weights out there. Tell me what's going on.
Well, with the weights that you see, they're sacks, and each sack had 20 pounds in it. So with those sacks, they're creating ground force production, because in order to build power, you need to have resistance.
Okay.
Resistance in a horizontal fashion, not a vertical fashion. And that is what the weight room does. The weight room helps. Sure. It does, but it's for stability, and more balance and control. But in order to run fast, and I tell people all the time, I ran a 10:19 for the 100 meters. I mean, you don't just run to get that kind of speed in the weight room, because like some of the best in the world, they don't lift that kind of weight.
Sure.
So it don't make any sense to me. I mean, you got all these strength conditioning coaches out there, but no, you need to run, and you need to run horizontal by pulling weight that generates more force and mass. Vertically, no.
I mean, it reminded me of the old school training, really, with Rocky up in Russia. And compared to technology, this is the down on your feet type of training.
Absolutely.
Motor development, I mean, it starts obviously in childhood, but are we not being taught that early on? I mean, are there gaps in what people are learning regarding training and fitness?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can just see it with the kids, the way they move. The coordination is off. Their balance. I mean, it's like they're unorthodox, and you're like, it's like they come out with 2 left feet.
Right.
That's because the parents nowadays aren't having their kids climb like little trees like we did, and climbing fences for dexterity and flexibility. My mom, we did all that. There's a difference between, there's a study that shows if one child is doing all the development, motor development skills and all this type of stuff, and one kid over there is reading a book, who's going to be more athletic when they grow up? Sure. They may not make it to the pros, they don't have to, but they're capable of doing things from a functional standpoint.
We didn't have running bikes in our bedroom. We had bikes out on the street, and we're going up hills, and we're learning how to maneuver, which is awesome.
Yes.
I mean, agility is needed for athletes and really in life in general, is having the ability to move around obstacles while decelerating, reaccelerating. Is that vital to performance, and is that something you're able to teach?
Oh, absolutely. Reaction is everything. a lot of people, they don't really understand there's a difference between musculoskeletal, which is the muscle, and the fast twitch, which is ATP, which is the nervous system. You know, that impulse, that reaction. The quicker you can respond, the better you'll be against your opponent. So you need to have that agility, reflection. You know, you got to have, I mean, like a cat. Wow. That's when we jump, we do certain things. I ask them to land. I want them to jump. They're in space, but when they land, I want them to land like a cat. Because why? They're more balanced that way. If they just come down and all their weight, but that gravity and that inertia just going one way, you know, they breaking stuff. That's why I want them to land in the forefront, coming down with balance and control. So agility is key, even in everyday life with people working. You know, they're going to work, they got stuff on, something's come, they react. You know, that's where that comes from. Reflexes is everything.
You see Bruce Lee jumping vertical, you know, I mean, amazing.
The Ron Jones camp has helped me get faster and have more discipline on my body.
Ron Jones has made me lose weight and made me get faster.
Each sport is unique. Your program is really sport specific for each athlete. I mean, and this is not a one size fits all. Are you able to customize it many times for somebody who needs that?
Absolutely, that's what I do. You know, as you can tell by the group that I had, they were from 3rd grade to seniors in high school.
Okay.
You know, and as you can see, I can work all of them. I can train all of them at one time. I don't necessarily do that. You know, this is a special occasion. I just want people to see what we do and what these babies are doing. I mean, the bands, you know, having those bands on, the restriction of having not that triple extension was holding you back. You know, I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. And they like, you see them doing box jumps and jumping down and pulling weight. That's all well and fine. But it's not how fast you move, it's how well you move fast.
Interesting. Yeah.
Why I like Coach Jones' stuff is because you get to exercise and get better.
My sport is football. What I like about Coach Jones' program is that we improve a lot.
I mean, you're a health and wellness organization, training company, and you're training all different levels, be it moms, athletes, team training, military prep, even NFL combined prep.
Yep.
This is on your feet training really for anyone. So if somebody calls you up wherever they're at, you can meet them at that level.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, because training actually starts with your feet.
Okay.
And with the shoes that we're wearing, they're just platforms. And that's just for protection. Technically, we do a lot of training barefoot because once our feet hit the ground, it has a more sense of what's going on to earth, the contraction, the connection to earth. And we're more stabilized. And with the little tiny phalanges and the little tiny muscles and tendons and ligaments, they need to be strengthened, you know, because the stronger your toes, your big toe, the higher your vertical. Because the last thing that leave the earth when you jump is your toes. A lot of people don't realize that.
That is interesting. I mean, champions wait for no one. They're either with you or behind you. Is this done in a class setting, one-on-one? Do you hold events or a little combination of all of it?
A combination of everything. I always teach, you know, because when I was growing up, you know, didn't know I was dyslexic. You know, so I didn't like let that hold me back. And I don't really use it as an excuse for someone to feel sorry for me, because I know that there are a lot of kids that were in high school when I was in high school. You know, they were doing this, they were really smart, and I kind of felt like, you know. But I think now, in this day and age, I'm probably a lot better off than a lot of them. You know, because like I said, I have 2 degrees, I have 2 certifications, you know. I don't feel the need to take a CSCS, Certified Strength and Conditioning, strength certification. I don't want to do that, you know, because I'm not that weight room type of guy. Like in college, we didn't have a strength and conditioning coach. Our track coach was the strength and conditioning coach, and that's pretty much what every other college.
Sure.
You know, in high school, it's like, I'm like, I know better.
Hard to certify you when you're so unique. Basically, like you say, you're not going to change for anybody.
No, I'm not going to change for nobody.
I mean, you say you were born a challenge. You learned not to back down from a challenge. Your system is time tested. It's proven. You're helping athletes master the foundation before they move on to the next step. Like you say, it's not how fast you move, but it's how well you move fast. Is it rewarding and really sometimes an honor when people trust you to basically move them in that direction?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I can't thank these parents enough, man. You know, I mean, I every day, and I thank them, and they're the reason why I'm able to move forward and to get this new facility that's coming up. Because these parents, all these parents that you saw, they're not rich.
Right.
But they trust and they see what's going on. And those are people I want. I know a lot of people, there's that have and have-nots. There's a ton of kids that can afford to go places where a lot of kids can't. And I'm like, okay with that. I'm happy where I'm at, and I know I'm going to grow, and I'm going to stick to it because I'm not changing.
And you keep teaching them, like you say, slow feet, don't eat.
Slow feet, don't eat.
I like Coach Ron's speed training because I've improved a lot after the 2 years.
I play football, basketball, baseball, and swimming, and Coach Jones has helped me become faster in all those sports.
Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, you can take a look at any upcoming events they have. They have contact information right there. You can follow them on Facebook as well. Contact them today. If your child is an athlete and wants to rise up to their full potential, do that. If you want it for fitness and agility, you're tired of the kids basically on the electronics and you'd love to see them maybe be a little more like you were when you're growing up, which is definitely healthy, that's going to last them years down the road. Any fitness goals you may have, let this professional coach help you. Contact information right there on the website as well. Once again, that is a new breed of speed. Change your speed and stamina, and you will change your game. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.